Hello and welcome to GadgetGuideUSA. Thanks for watching my Viotek Tru-Comfort Heating and Cooling Seat Cushion product review. Let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, what I have is this Viotek Tru-Comfort Auto Seat Cushion. What it is, it's a seat cushion that also provides air, for when it's hot, and it also provides heating when it's cold. Most cars that come with heated and cooled seats are quite a bit out of my price range, but we can go ahead and add, relatively inexpensive devices to go ahead and make things more comfortable. It's about 81 degrees here in Indiana, which isn't too hot, but it is just warm enough where I would like a cooled seat. In the northern Indiana, winters are brutal, so of course that heated seat is going to be really nice, but of course I'm not going to use that for a few months here. So as always, we're just going to go ahead and look at the box. It kind of gives you some cool air, hot air. It shows you a remote. Just kind of gives you some stuff. It shows you some of the colors available. I have the beige there. There's also black and silver, and looks like there's some other colors. It comes in heating and cooling only. Of course, I got the heat and cool. Like I said, in Indiana, those winters are brutal, and that heated seat's going to be really awesome. On the back, it just gives you some more information, some basic installation instructions. It looks pretty simple, and now we're going to go ahead and open it up here. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff inside. Alright, pull some plastic off, do this as fast as possible. What we have here, this is an undercarriage, and that's to hold the fan unit in. I cheated, I actually already read the instructions, so I kind of know what's going on here. We're going to need that there in a second. There's some zip ties in the bag, and we'll get to that. And here's the actual heated seat cushion. As you can see here, it has some units sticking off the back, some other stuff to hold it on, and we'll go ahead over that more clearly. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set that there. The next thing is the actual unit. As you can see, it's beige to match the actual, or tan, whatever color you want to call that. Go ahead and unwrap this, if I can ever get it unwrapped. I think I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. And this is the actual unit. If you have just the cooling unit, you won't have this. This is just for heat, and that's because it has some type of element in there. And then it also has, this is the actual fan that blows air into the seat. It has two wires connected to it. It looks like here is your heating and cooling pad, and you probably can't see it on camera, but it looks like it has some divots for lights, so it's going to give some status indicator lights. And then we have our cigarette lighter attachment, which is how we're going to power the device. Notice this has two openings right here, and I'm assuming, well, actually, yeah, so you can actually power two seats at the same time. So if you want one for the driver's seat, one for the passenger seat, it has that availability, and you only use up one CLA attachment, which is a good thing. I'm only installing this on the driver's side, so it's not really a big deal to me, but if you were installing it in both, I imagine it could make quite a big difference. It looks to be well made. I mean, your standard, looks like a Molex connector, like for a PC power supply or something like that. I'll give it a good tug. Everything seems to be of decent quality. No complaints there. Also in the box are some zip ties, and what that is for, it gives you some zip ties for cord management at the end, just in case you have any loose cords, or nobody wants any loose cords hanging around in their car. So just in case anything's loose or there's too much cord or anything, it gives you some devices to go ahead and clean everything up. And then I'm not really sure what they include this for. My guess, if I had to take a shot in the dark, I would say that maybe this doesn't fit all cigarette lighter attachments. So maybe some cars might need a different one. They look pretty similar, but one's wide and one's, kind of pokey there. So I guess it's just not really sure, but it is there. And I'm going to do my best here. What we're going to do is we're going to do a full install today. I'm going to do my best to get everything on the camera, but as you can see, I'm actually doing a live install. I'm not just pulling out a seat and just doing it in the shop. This is actually going in my vehicle. So we may miss some camera angles. I'm going to do my best to get you inside so you can see everything I'm doing and get the best angles I can, but bear with me as I try here. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, I know that this part, well, before we go into the install, let's go ahead and look at the seat. It looks to be well made with, I don't know. It's not real leather, it's plastic leather. So that kind of explains. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get that. The back seems to be suede. Everything seems to be well made. Give it a good tug. I mean, your standard plastic construction on the inside. suede on back, pleather on front, and some elastic here and just plastic straps. So it doesn't look to be too bad. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab this seat carriage piece, and as you can see, it has a piece of Velcro here. This has some Velcro right there, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach it to there. And that's going to be of use later on to actually kind of stabilize the seat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab that seat and move it all the way forward because I'm going to have to slide these 3 pipes and this into the seat behind it. So we want that actually poking through in between seats. So if I can get that unhooked here, I'm just going to go ahead and set that there and kind of force it in there. Of course, I don't want to break anything, but it is pretty well made, so I'm not too worried about breaking too much. Yeah, it went right through there. That was pretty easy. That wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and place this temporarily. This is just the chair strap. I don't want anything in my way there, so I'm just going to put it there. I don't know if that actually makes it easier or not, but we'll find out. Now I'm actually going to come to the back here. Readjust. Sorry about this. Doing my best. As you can see, I kind of have this work through here. I'm just going to reach underneath and make sure all these 3 pipes are pulled in and situated. And then I'm just going to go around front and look at it. See if it looks natural. It looks good. It's pretty much what I expected. Okay, so we're now at that step. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the front here. And this has a couple of hooks here. And there's quite a few spaces underneath each car to hook all kinds of things. I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera here and do my best to kind of show you. See, this is what we have underneath the seat here. You want to avoid any bars like this because, of course, that's to move your seat, and you definitely don't want to hook it to anything that looks electronic whatsoever. So we're going to avoid anything electronic. Sorry about the air conditioning there. I imagine it has a little bit of background noise, but nothing I can do. It's kind of warm, and I don't want to get all hot. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that around there. Slide this underneath there. Hope I have a good angle on that, but I'm just basically connecting this hook to that hole right there. See, really easy. Now I'm going to try to move this over here. I'm just running this hook up over the bar there. I'm actually doing this left-handed, and I'm not very good with my left hand, so it's actually going together really easily, and it hooks right there. That was really simple. Okay, so it looks like the front part's actually already done. This is actually going a little bit better than I expected, so that's always a good thing. Now, go ahead and situate it again. If this takes too long to situate, I may actually do some clips to cut it out, but we'll try not to. I like to do solid takes as much as possible. So now you see we have our unit here. Basically, it has these 3 things. What I'm going to want to do is connect the middle Molex connector, or whatever they're called. I don't know if it's really a Molex. We're just going to pop in there. It has a keyway, so you can't put it in correctly. We like that. So slide it right into that keyway. And connect all 3 of these tubes. Looks like it has like fluted ends, so they fit together really well. Looks like once you pop them on here, it has like a little fitting to make sure it doesn't pop off. So that's good. Alright, we got those plugged in there. Now what you're going to want to do is actually take these cords and pass them under your seat, because the cords actually come out of the back here, and this is going to be upside down, but we're going to slide the cords underneath the seat so we can plug it in easily. We don't want to get it too tangled here. I'm just going to go in the front and I'm going to grab those and work them through. Yeah, this isn't hard at all. Putting together very well. Alright, so I just basically grabbed those and pulled them through just so I didn't have any slack. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tuck this underneath, like so. Oh, those popped off. Be careful. Alright, so I'm just curling that up. And maybe I didn't pop those on. Alright, now I'm just curling up under the seat, sliding this underneath it, and then I'm going to hook those hooks to probably not the exact same holes, but you know, some holes. And what that is, that's just to keep this from jumping around. I mean, it's pretty well in there. I don't think it would move a lot, but you know, I guess they give you all these hooks and stuff for a reason. So I'm going to try to follow the directions, pretty much like on the box as much as possible. So I have that slid up underneath there. It looks pretty good. So not a big deal. I'm not going to grab the camera and show you the hooks again. I think you got the general idea. Basically, I'm just going to slide those hooks up underneath there and hook it to something just so everything doesn't move around. So try to resituate this right here to give you an idea of what I'm doing. The hooks are easy to see. I can see them right away. So I'm just going to reach my hand back there and kind of fish it through and then hook it to something. Like I said, actually I'm hooking it to the exact same holes I did for the front. And the thing you just want to be sure of is not to hit any electronics. It's not very hard. There's not normally a whole lot of electronics. They're normally off to the side if you have power seats like in this one. But like I said, you just want to be careful not to cause any damage. As you can see, this required absolutely no special tools or anything like that. It's pretty much done. I have my zip ties here, and I have my tip, which I'm not going to use, I don't think. But now that I have everything put together, I'm just going to kind of slide the seat back. And then I'm going to connect. As you can see, the top here, this was the strap I put on earlier, just temporarily. I guess it does go there. It has these two little connectors here, and those are going to go right around the neck of the seat. So, looks like it fits nice and tight. It's actually looking pretty good. So now we're going to go back over here and go to the electronics. Imagine you know I don't have it connected yet. But these are the two cords that I fished through. As you can see, I got plenty of room here. I did get them kind of tangled. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and untangle them now. And we have two cords that come out of here. One is going to be for the heating and cooling, and the other is going to be for the power. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and plug in the power. And now I have my... as soon as I push this button, I'm almost sure you can't see it due to the sunlight. It's pretty bright out here. But we have a series of lights. When I turn it on, it has 5 blue dots. Wow! I can feel that nice cool air coming out of the seat. That's pretty nice. It's not loud at all. It's definitely, compared to the air conditioning, it is very quiet. I don't know how well the sound is going to transfer over this camera. It's a small hum. It's not like it's completely silent, but it's very quiet. Compared to air conditioner, I would say this air conditioner set on 1 is louder than this fan. And it feels really good. Especially as you can see, I was a little sweaty. I'm kind of a sweaty, gross guy. So you have the 5 blue buttons, and as you push it, a button goes down. You have 4 blue, 3 blue, 2 blue, 1 blue. So it has 5 individual fan settings. And on the max, you can definitely feel it without a doubt. I'm not sure about heat. If you hold the blue button for about 2 seconds, it turns off. So let's go ahead and turn on the heat. Looks like it has the same settings, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not going to test out the heated settings. It is too hot out here for me to be playing with any heat. But maybe this winter when it comes up and I'm really happy sitting on the seat, I'll do another product review. But the last thing to do would be to actually stick this somewhere in the car. To be honest, I haven't really decided where is going to be best. Maybe... I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do this on camera, but I'll probably end up sticking it right here, or maybe right next to my gear shifter, or maybe putting in some thought to it. But it does come with, it looks like branded 3M tape. It's not any generic. It's actually 3M brand. So, of course, we like that. I have faith that that's going to stick and be good. Just be sure that when you do stick this, is to grab some alcohol or, you know, at least some water and clean the area really well. The main reason things don't stick properly is because there is some dirt or dust underneath. So just be sure you clean the area wherever you stick that, and that should last a long time. Now that we have all that out of the way, the last thing to do would be to grab some zip ties and get rid of any messy wires. And now as the final step here, what I'm going to do is just give you a final view of the Viotek heating and cooling seat here. It looks nice. It doesn't look out of place or anything. I guess I could adjust it a little bit better. It's not perfect dead center, but with, you know, just a couple seconds, it wouldn't take much to go ahead and fix that. I think it looks really well. I wish you could feel the cool air coming out of there. It feels really nice, especially as you saw, it was getting a little bit warm. But overall, I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed my product review and install video today as much as I enjoyed filming it. I'm definitely going to get quite a bit of use out of this cooling seat as the summer goes by. Comments are always welcome at the bottom of the page. Subscriptions are always appreciated, thank you. And if you have any specific questions, comments, or suggestions, please email me at GadgetGuideUSA@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.